What's going on, everybody? In this video, we're going to be talking about the NFT market. Is the market pumping back up? And we're also going to be covering one of the biggest scams that recently happened to date, as well as some major updates on some of our favorite projects. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be safety. Now, the website Premint, which a lot of people use, including myself, I've used this when I minted Parallax NFT, they recently got compromised. Now, this is a big deal because right now the meta is free mints. And a lot of times people will use Premint where they are going to use it to collect people's wallet addresses, and then they're going to raffle off, who's going to win, right? Now, the problem is that because Premint was recently hacked, some people think they're just registering to, sign up their wallet for something, right? And then they sign a thing, and then they have an opportunity to get their wallet compromised and their wallet drained. So if you're looking at Premint right now, you're trying to join free raffles, absolutely make 100% sure that everything is okay. And I would actually not, mint anything. I would not actually connect anything, whether it's hot wallet or whatever, to Premint right now, because it is very dangerous. And what it looks like, basically it looks very real, right? It'll be like, secure wallet, verify your wallet, and it'll be like set approval for all. And that's how they drain you out. At the time of this recording, and I literally just checked it out on the Premint Twitter page, they say Premint is safe to log into. You see a gas-free signing confirmation. We will never ask you for transaction access. You will never see gas associated to connecting to Premint. So it looks like they are back. But again, I would actually be kind of careful of this, of let other people test it out first and make sure it's okay before you test it out, because why rush, right? This was just like 2 hours ago of the time of this recording. And then they're also saying that if you were affected by the incident, please add your wallet here. Now, will they be able to reimburse everybody? Hard to say, right? Because, the damage could have been like so great that it kind of doesn't make sense to reimburse people, but we'll see what happens, and be safe out there, guys. Now, the next thing we're going to cover, now that we cover safety, is going to be the market sentiment. And as you can see, if you're looking at coin market cap, everything is pretty much pumping. And for me, this was actually quite unexpected. I don't even know why Ethereum is pumping to 1.4, which is quite a lot during this bear market. It seems like there's, just a lot of volume over the last day, and a lot of people are buying. And again, I guess if you think about it from a logical perspective, if Ethereum dipped to 800 and then went up to, 1400, that's quite a big jump for anybody who did buy in or DCA'd in. So where's Ethereum going to go from here? I honestly don't know. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Not really sure. But overall, we've seen the entire economy doesn't seem too great. A lot of people are saying different things. Some people are like, oh, like all these, panic and everything is already priced in, so we're at the bottom. I don't really know about that, because there's a lot of other macro factors that are over my head, and I'm sure there are a lot of smart people that understand it better than I do, who say that there's potential for things to go down from here. So whatever it is you decide to do, just be careful. Sometimes it's literally just a coin toss when it comes to crypto. So just be mindful of that. But when we are looking at, let's say, how the NFTs are moving, over the past few days, there have been more volume into NFTs compared to, like last week, for example. If you look at the top 500 index using Nansen, yeah, a little bit, it's like it's going up a bit. So the market is getting a little bit bullish, but it doesn't mean it's a bull run. I honestly still think we're still in the bear period, where it's very hard to sell out your mint and everything's like that. But there's a little pump for, especially for the top 10 projects. And speaking of top projects, Otherside recently just launched their demo. There were, I think, 4,500 people playing this game at the same time, and apparently there was no lag, according to some of the videos that I watched. Overall, when I'm looking at this tech and this whole metaverse space that they created, it honestly is pretty impressive. So far, it is the best metaverse type of NFT engagement that I've seen, right? So like there's like Sandbox, which is all right, but then not a lot of people are into the whole pixel thing, like voxel thing, and there's not really much to do quite yet in Sandbox. Obviously they're still building, but nobody I know actually logs into Sandbox every day, right? There's Decentraland. Actually, when I look at, Otherside compared to Decentraland, no offense to Decentraland, but like it makes Decentraland look very outdated. And it's kind of like, what are people going to do in Decentraland in the future, right? Like, are they going to actually host events there and have like a museum in their house? Kind of seems not a lot of people would use it, honestly, because there's so many different other tools or software like One Cyber and stuff like that, where it's really good for gallery. So why would you use Decentraland? And then Decentraland's not really that fun either. So it's like you would rather use Otherside than Decentraland. So I think that world is getting more competitive, and it's getting more niche, where you got to focus on actually doing something well instead of just like being first. I mean, I can see Otherside Meta doing that. It kind of does remind me of Fortnite. So if you ever seen the, Fortnite event with like Travis Scott, for example, where everyone's kind of like together on this mission, not really a mission, it's a concert, but like it's a fun experience to hang out with your friends and like do something together. And this one, it was like hanging out here, watching like a little teaser, going to fight a, a Coda boss and everything like that. It looks very fun, right? And so, this is something, when I look at it, it's like, oh damn, I actually want to try it. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if I'm going to actually spend time in this metaverse, but I'm down to try because just the fact that they have so many people on one screen is quite impressive to me. And also what Otherside Meta is doing that's quite smart is that they are rewarding the people who are attending these, experiences and watching the live stream. What they're doing is they're going to be adding the metadata onto the other deed NFT. So you get some kind of reward for it. Is this going to be valuable? Possibly. Who knows, right? I think if this game or metaverse actually takes off, it might be something of value, or maybe there's sentimental value to say like, hey, I was at the first ever demo ever, and there's some pride to that. So in a way, what's kind of interesting is that because they use Bored Ape as the launch pad pretty much for Otherside, and now they have all these users who know what it is, they know what the brand is, and they're willing to try it because they own the assets. Kind of like a simple way to like beta test your game and get people to try it and build excitement. If they came out with this, cold without having an NFT and crazy sales and stuff like that, then maybe nobody would use it. But because they have the hype, they have the narrative, they have people financially invested in this, they can probably keep the hype going, and they pretty much got infinite money at this point. Really interesting to see how this is going to go. It looks like right now it's the best contender for a metaverse that may be used. Again, that's maybe because metaverses are pretty hard to do. Just because it looks good today doesn't mean it's going to be good tomorrow, just like how everybody speculated Decentraland and Sandbox, but then like nobody's really using it right now, right? So it could be a situation like that, but it looks fun. All right, now real quick, for anybody who is going to be in Singapore, we're actually doing a Parallax event in Singapore. It's going to be at MetaJam. It's going to be like an NFT gallery. We're going to have our NFTs up and things like that. It's going to be 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. MetaJam, second floor. So if you're a holder, or even if you're not a holder and you just want to check it out, see what the community is like, it's free entry for holders, free for the public. There's going to be free food sponsored by the Parallax. And I'm also going to be the special guest speaker there, and I'm going to be talking about some NFTs. So if you're interested, you're a holder, or if you're interested in becoming a holder in the future, make sure to check out the event, Singapore MetaJam, Monday, July 25th. And also, as you know, we haven't revealed the Parallax NFT quite yet. And right now, so far, the plan is to reveal it on Wednesday. That's right. So by the time you watch this, it actually might be one day from the time this video comes out. So the reveal is definitely coming soon. We're almost done. We're putting up the final touches, and I think you guys are going to be really happy with what the art looks like, hopefully. So if you're interested in the reveal, you want to buy it before the reveal, or you want to buy it after the reveal, get something you like, make sure to keep an eye out. All the official announcements will be on our Discord, so you can know exactly when the reveal will happen. And also understand that there's no free mint, there's no additional mint, there's not going to be any increase in supply. So any website or a personality that tries to impersonate someone saying there's going to be a mint and you have to connect your wallet is absolutely a scam, so be very careful. So moving forward, we have Pudgy Penguins, right? So Pudgy Penguins was pretty hot during the NFT bull run. It kind of fell off, and then these couple business guys basically bought the entire brand. They're trying to revive it. Why did they buy Pudgy Penguins instead of starting their own NFT? Well, everybody kind of already knows what Pudgy Penguin is. It has like 55K sales volume, which is pretty crazy. So they already have a brand that people recognize, and they're trying to revive it, by being more like real, I guess, and being more like trying to build a real brand. And as we can see, the floor price did increase after the ownership transfer to the new guys. And what they're doing is they're going to be creating toys with the Pudgy Penguin brand for Fortnite, Nerf, Nickelodeon, now Pudgy Penguins. Okay, so here's my thought on this. I think you got to really think about like, who are the customers of Pudgy Penguin, and do they actually want vinyl toys, right? Which is kind of interesting, because like when you look at Pudgy Penguins, I would guess that the majority of people who are speculating and buying Pudgy Penguins are kind of like adults, probably, whether it's like 20s and maybe like 30, 35. So do people actually want the toys, and how big of an impact will that make? Depends, like who's really the audience for Pudgy Penguins that will actually buy the merchandise for it. Looking at a lot of different projects, not just Pudgy Penguins, but other projects as well that have this cute kind of vibe, like who is the audience, right? Is it sometimes, when a character looks like very friendly and cartoony, it kind of looks like the IP is built for kids, but then the people that own the NFT are all adults. So there's kind of like a disconnect of like, all these adults are speculating on the assets, but then they're creating toys for kids. So it's like, how does that even connect, right? So that's definitely something I'm personally thinking about when it comes to IP, but interesting that they're doing something in the real world, and they have a good toy manufacturer that agreed to do this. So we'll see how it goes. Now, next project we're gonna talk about, and we did cover them, actually like a month or two before this, it's gonna be Megami. So Megami is basically this anime project. It's gonna be by Saito Naoki. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, sorry, I'm not Japanese. So essentially it's like a anime project, and I'm not saying you should or shouldn't buy it. I'm just saying that the art is actually pretty good, right? Because there's not a lot of like Japanese projects, breaking into like America, like NFT Twitter. And this is one of the projects that a lot of people are starting to talk about. I think mainly because the art itself is actually pretty good and authentic. So if you guys seen this guy, Saito, he's been doing YouTube for quite a bit. He has 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Obviously it's Japanese, but he does have English subtitles. And I actually watched a few of his videos before just to understand like how he draws anime art. And he actually is pretty good. So what makes this anime project different? I think one is that it's actually like an authentic Japanese project, which is cool in itself, right? And it looks right and it feels right. So creator alliance doesn't really mean much. It's just like connecting with different artists and creating art. So that's everyone kind of does that already, right? Standard Megami standard work, expansion into the world, I guess licenses of like using your IP in certain situations. So I wouldn't even call this a roadmap. It's really just saying that they have high quality standards, which I can respect, right? And then team is Saito, and then producer, artist, developer, 10,000 supply. It's going to be on Ethereum, 3% royalty fee. I mean, when I'm looking at this, there's not really like a metaverse play that I see. Maybe there's an IP play for people who like this type of art, but to me, it's more of a art NFT project. What would they do after this? It's kind of hard to say. And I also think they have like a unique minting experience, and I believe it's still minting at the moment. And again, like I'm not saying it's going to go up. Chances are it's kind of difficult for this project to pump, in my personal opinion. But if you enjoy the art and you support this kind of movement, check it out. The next project we're going to talk about is going to be Wizards, and we did cover chapter 1. Now it's going into chapter 2. You know, long story short, without getting into details, you know, Wizards, it's a project where it's like if you list it below a certain price, it's going to get burned. Your wizard dies, it turns into a skull. So pretty much the mechanic is like you combine 2 NFTs, you make another NFT to get like a limited edition of, you know, 1,250 full skulls, right? The mechanic itself doesn't really matter at this point, because when you really think about it, it's not too different from, let's say, like this Poop project, right? There's like I'll Poop It, Degenerations, and SBs and stuff like that. And the floor price has been dropping quite a bit. It's pretty much the same thing in my personal opinion, right? It's kind of like creating NFTs, creating a lot of assets. It's impressive because for a meme project and a degen project, they're creating so many assets. So it's kind of cool, right? So it takes a lot of work. Now, obviously they're going for the royalty volume to make money on this, right? Especially if it's going to be free mint. And the game is you create as many like NFT projects as you can. You create this like gambling kind of game of like, oh, you combine this one with this one, then you get this one, and then you get a token. And so that's pretty much how the game goes. To me, in my eyes, it's more like a gambling game. It's more of an experiment to see like pushing the boundaries of NFTs, where, you know, obviously if you create the project, you're going to make a lot of money on the royalties, which is fine. But yeah, but I think as the game progresses over and over, it's going to be hard to sustain that hype because not a lot of people want to play the game if they don't feel like they are going to get money back, right? For example, if you buy these NFTs and you combine this skull and that skull, will that thing be of value? And if it's not, then the game ends, right? And so for this kind of project, there's not much of a community besides the community that wants to make money, from my personal take. And I understand like a lot of people are going to say, oh, Patrick, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's so much deeper than you understand. And I get that. I totally get that. It's the same with like when I talked about this Poop project, and then a bunch of people on Twitter were like, oh no, but it's deeper. You don't understand. Like there's a token and things like that. I'm like, yeah, I understand there's a token and everything. But like, you know, in the end, like, are they going to become a brand, or is it going to go to zero like 6 months from now, right? I mean, that's always the thing you want to think about. Like if you're playing these games, understand that a lot of times the musical chair ends, and you don't want to be left holding the bag. So that's just my personal take on it. It's still an interesting concept. It's a fun experiment. It hasn't really been done before, which I can respect. But if you play the game, be very careful, or just sit back and watch the drama unfold. And so that's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what kind of videos you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one.